Hey, welcome back to Life Coach University. This is a pay it forward talk. We're at the beginning of 2024, and this is super exciting. I'm excited for a great year of content for you guys, hoping that you will find what you need to help improve your life and solve the problems that you find yourself coming up against. Remember, when you come to these pay it forward talks, you pay it forward as the tuition for coming to get this free education. Our mission is to coach millions more. So we would be so grateful if you would share this talk with someone that you think can benefit from it, or that you will just share a thought that you had from it, something you learned from it, or just go out and do a good deed because of who you become by listening to and implementing the concepts that you hear here at the Life Coach University. My name is Ashleigh Johnston. I'm a certified life coach, and I am also I also specialize in coaching special needs moms. I am a special needs mom myself, and so this is what I want to help with. Today, I will actually be talking about limiting beliefs. And I wrote some notes, and I hope you won't mind that I use them. They will keep me on track. I actually have a paper version, so you might hear that jostling about a little bit. So hopefully that'll be okay with you. I'm also pre-recording this. So if you're watching this on the day that it airs, I pre-recorded it for you because I just wasn't going to be available this month on my day to do my PIF talk. So, okay, so here we go. Today I want to talk to you about lightening the load. As a special needs parent, as any parent really, but as a special needs parent, there is an extra amount of load that comes with raising a child with special needs. And raising any child does come with many different kinds of loads: physical load, mental load, emotional load. And all of these, even in those categories, have subcategories. The mental load of organizing the home, the mental load of finances, of planning family get-togethers and holidays, which we all just did. And then as a special needs parent, doctor's appointments, therapies, and anything else on top of that that goes with whatever special needs your child has. And so a lot of these can add up and it can feel very burdensome. And that is something I often hear is I feel overwhelmed, I feel exhausted, I don't know what to do, I'm disorganized. And so I want to address today a smaller subcategory of the load that you may be feeling as a parent raising a child with special needs. And I want to address today the limiting belief load. I want to talk about how to lighten the load of the limiting beliefs that you may have. Now, the limiting beliefs are the kinds of thoughts that will keep you awake at night. These are the kinds of thoughts that will derail you or throw your whole day off, the thoughts that you ruminate on. And these are also the kinds of thoughts that you are trying to outrun, trying to out-eat, out-sleep, out-clean, you're trying to avoid it or get away from it, or even work extra hard to prove that it's not true. So I'm going to list out, and this isn't exhaustive, but a list of limiting beliefs that I have made just to share with you some ideas. And as you listen to this, I want to invite you to see which thoughts resonate with you, to see which thoughts stand out to you, and see which thoughts that you believe are real and that you've seen in your life often, in your thinking or however else it might show up for you. So the thoughts are, I'm not good enough. I'm not doing enough. I'm not a good mom. I'm not a good dad. I can't do this. I'm not smart enough. I'm always exhausted. I'm so disorganized. I'm weak. I people please everyone. I'm ruining my kids. Someone else could do a better job. My life is awful. This is unfair. I'm stuck. I'll never have the life I want. This is hard. Why me? The cards are stacked against me. I was dealt a crappy hand in life. My life isn't what it should be. No one understands me. I did this to my child. These are thoughts that either I have thought myself, I have heard from clients, or I've heard from moms that I've talked to, friends or moms in Facebook groups. And all of these I would categorize as limiting beliefs. And the reason that I would categorize it that way is because they're not provable in a court of law. They're not factual, but they are things that we believe, and often our brain wants to convince us that they are actually factual. We want to be aware that these thoughts are there, and we want to be aware of what they're doing. And the reason why we want to know what these thoughts are and why they're there, and why we want to question them and why we want to let go of them, is because these are the thoughts that are creating the life that you are now experiencing. Let me say that again. These limiting beliefs that you have, these thoughts that you believe, are creating the life that you're living right now. What you're experiencing right now as your life are a result of these limiting beliefs. And I want to show you why this is true and how it's happening. So behind me, you're going to see some words, right? These are the 5 things that life really is made up of. And as we understand them, it gives us the opportunity to sort through how we're creating our life and how we can recreate it. So at the top, you'll see circumstances, then thoughts, then feelings, then actions, then results. I'm going to flip this page, and what you're going to see is you're going to see what's called a model. This tool is called the model. It was made by my coach. And we're going to put into it an example of a limiting belief. Excuse me. All right. So at the top, you'll see child with special needs by the C, which is the circumstance. The C, the circumstance, is something that is factual and it's neutral. You have a child with special needs. This is something that exists in your life. You have a thought about it, and the thought is, I did this to my child. Let's say that's the limiting thought that you're having. When you have a limiting thought or a limiting belief, every time we think something, we create a feeling. And the feeling that this created, and this is an example for me, was guilt. I felt so guilty. Like, I did this to my child. I felt guilty. When I felt guilty, I would ruminate. I would cry. I would hide. These are the actions that I was taking because I felt guilty. I would engage in self-pity and negative self-talk, like I'm not good enough, I'm not a good mom. And then I would not try to figure out how to help my child and not improve the quality of her life. And I would not be taking action, and I would not be present in my life. And all of these actions tell us a story. What we do tells us a story about how we feel and what we think, and that creates, those actions that we take create a result. And the result that I was creating is that I was ensuring that my child's struggles persisted. You see that? When I would ruminate, cry, hide, negative self-talk, engage in self-pity, I wasn't doing anything to help improve my child's circumstance. So therefore, I was ensuring really that she would continue to struggle. And that is something that I did, right? I also created struggles for me, for myself, by engaging, by believing that this is true, that I did this to my child, whatever struggle she was having, I did it. And then I continued to do it when I took these actions. This is the power of understanding why what you think is the seed of what you experience and the results you create in your life. So, how do you go from a limiting belief like this to a belief that is actually useful? And there's really 2 things that I want to tell you. And the first thing is that you have to really see that it is a limiting belief, that it's optional. that there are many, many other moms out there in the world that don't have this thought about their child, right? About their circumstance. They might be thinking something else, like, I'm so blessed. Like, this is perfect. I know I'm up to the challenge. I love my child. I'm going to do everything I can to help my child. They might be feeling motivated. They might be feeling love. There are lots of options. But our brain wants to latch on to the limiting belief we have, especially if we have a strong emotion connected to it, like guilt. And it wants to latch on, and it wants to prove to us that it's factual, right? And that's what we're doing. You're proving it's true by the actions you're taking, because what you do creates the results you have. And that result will prove that what you're thinking is true. Okay, but it's not. This is optional because you can put something else there. So the second thing, that's the first thing, right? You want to really see that it is a limiting belief and that it's optional. It's not factual. The second thing is, once you see that it's optional, then you want to replace it with something useful. Sometimes you don't need to. Sometimes all you have to really see is that this isn't completely true. This is optional, and it can go away. But if it doesn't, then you can replace it, right? Simple. What you want to do is you want to make sure that the replacement belief that you will practice is something that feels true. It's something that you actually feel an actual shift happening for yourself. And then once you find that thought, then you redirect to it often, because your brain is really practiced in whatever you're thinking already. It's already practiced in all those limiting beliefs. Now you need to practice something new, but you will default to this limiting belief for a while, and you'll have to redirect and redirect and redirect and redirect, and nothing has gone wrong. You just need to practice thinking the new thought and actually carve that neural pathway in your brain and practice feeling that new feeling. So let me give you an example of a replacement belief. We can call it a useful belief. You'll notice at the top that the circumstance is still the same. See? A child with special needs. Now I'm choosing a new thought. And this new thought is, I was made for this. Now, to me, this thought feels very powerful. And when I feel very powerful as a mother with a child that has special needs, I end up taking proactive action. I am watching and observing my child. I'm assessing her needs and then getting to know what she needs. I'm talking to doctors. I'm doing research. I'm asking questions. I'm advocating for her. Also, what I've noticed is that I have stopped engaging in self-pity. I've stopped hiding, and I've stopped waiting around for my life to get easier. All of that because I feel powerful. And when I take all of those actions, the result that I create is that I actually become the mother who was made for my child. Right? This was mind-blowing to me. I want you to really look at it, because I'm asking questions specifically about her. I'm researching specifically about her. I am observing her. I'm assessing her needs. I am becoming an expert on this child, all because I'm thinking I was made for this and I feel powerful. And when I feel powerful, I'm fueled to take these kinds of actions, and I actually create me, a version of me that was made for my child, instead of creating a version of me that was hiding and that was scared and that was doing this bad thing to my child, or so I thought. So the power that we have to create our lives is amazing if we're willing to see our thoughts and our limiting beliefs as optional. And we're willing to entertain the idea or be open to the idea that maybe you were made for this. or whatever other positive thought that you have. This is what lifts the mental load in this area of your life. And it is incredibly freeing. So this process, using this tool called the model, is a process, and it is something that you can learn to do. You can just pop it right in and you can do it on your own. It's very effective. It's called self-coaching. If this is something that you would like some assistance with or someone to walk you through it, you can contact me at ashleighjohnstoncoaching@gmail.com. That's ASHLEIGH, johnstoncoaching@gmail.com. Send me an email and we'll walk through this. You can even take the limiting belief that you have from this session and put it in the T line, put in the C line, whatever it is, whatever you feel is the problem, and then put in the T line and see if you can fill it out and send it to me. And we can talk about, I can give you some feedback on it and we can figure this out so that you can lighten the load and you can wiggle this loose in your brain a little bit. Okay? So now I want to provide you with a list of empowering thoughts. And I think it's fair that I provide you with a list of empowering thoughts since I provided you with a list of limiting beliefs that I've come across. So here are some empowering thoughts that I have come across that have been extremely helpful to me, to my clients, to my friends, and to many other moms that I have talked to that have children with special needs. Obviously, this can apply to you if you don't have a child with special needs. That's just who I am catering to in this video. I was made for this. I'm a good mom. I'm a good dad. I can do this. I can do hard things. I love my child. I'm grateful to have my life. Why not me? This is happening for me. I understand me. I can do exhausted. I'm letting it be enough. A work in progress is still progress. I'm strong. I'm open to the idea that I'm strong enough. My kids are resilient. There's enough space for me to be a good mom and a faulty, exhausted human being. I can do unfair. I'm already free. I am creating the life that I have so I can create the life I want. Thank you so much for coming here today and spending your time with me. Because this was pre-recorded, I wasn't able to see your comments or engage with you, which I missed. So if you have something to say, a thought to share, a question to ask, please feel free to reach out to me at ashleighjohnstoncoaching.com, or sorry, ashleighjohnstoncoaching@gmail.com. Again, Ashleigh is spelled ASHLEIGH, and that's Johnston, JOHNSTON, coaching@gmail.com. And have a wonderful January. Thank you so much for coming. Remember, this is a pay it forward talk. So please pay it forward to someone else and help us coach millions more. Until next time, guys, take care. Bye.